mostly Elgeyo-Marakwet County or Baringo County without following the due regular procedure as stipulated in the TSC Act of 2012 on the transfers of post-primary school teachers. This, in actual fact, contravenes what the Basic Education Act 2013 prescribes. Whereas the Basic Education Act 2013 provides for the inclusive and special needs education, TSC Rift Valley Regional Office has adversely breached this provision by directly denying the children of the marginalized groups the basic mandate of the government to provide education. This is notable when the said office decides to unconditionally transfer a whopping 40 secondary school teachers, and in fact, the letters are still streaming as learning is in progress. 40 secondary school teachers without replacement to the neighboring counties. We condemn this act with the strongest terms possible as Kesha, Turkana County, and Kupet. The Teacher Service Commission has given the provisions that any teacher seeking for transfer should fulfill the following conditions. 1, that the teacher must have accomplished the minimum 5-year stay in a given station as per the mandatory handwritten commitment letter that is signed during filling of the employment form. Number 2, that the teacher has to initiate an online transfer request in the portal accessible from the Commission's website. We are stressing this because, as we speak, most of the teachers who have been transferred did not initiate the transfer online. And that one is a regulation that has to be followed strictly. 3, that the head of institution must remark that application by either recommending for a possible transfer or retention in the same station pending available replacement. Number 4, that the county director will then acknowledge the applicant's request basing on the recommendations by the head of institution. It is at this level that the regional director will then act after considering the recommendations of all the authorizing field officers. However, considering the current situation under claim, the TSC regional director did not fulfill this regulation. A good number of teachers, their transfer letters were drawn, signals an anomaly of insensitive malice. It is in view of this that we as the professional body safeguard the interests of the learners who are of our community by asking to the attention of the relevant authorities to quickly stop these menace. At the same time, we are asking for immediate replacement of the 40 transferred secondary school teachers to fill the gap so artificially created to the affected secondary schools. This is the first regional director that has actually gone astray of the norms. We've had a good number of them at the regional office who have always been working hand in hand with the county office. We've seen situations where the current regional director or the current regional office does not work hand in hand with the county office. And we are really asking our CEO to actually check what is actually transpiring or happening at the regional office in Nakuru. We are also sensing that there could be nepotism. It is not something we are actually talking out of nothing, but we want to mention here that the regional director happens to come from Elgeyo-Marakwet County. And most of the teachers who have been transferred in the year 2025 hail from his county. And that is, we do not know what could be his intention of doing that. Turkana is a hard-to-staff zone, same to Elgeyo-Marakwet and Baringo counties. It is a normal procedure to transfer a teacher having overstayed in a particular station. But at least there is due procedure that has to make an appeal to the commission to regularly check the ongoings, what is going on. You can be able to address the high levels of illiteracy in our county here. Remember, Turkana County has actually stagnated in matters actually endured, especially in terms of embracing education. At this juncture, when our politicians have been able to help us in schools, and the government, on the other hand, gives us the vacancies that we've actually been able to fill by employing some of these teachers, there is need that we have to protect the interest of our learners so that they are able to go through school and equally compete in matters education, just like what happens in other counties. May I now invite the KUPPET Secretary to address.
I am Michael Ejikone Kitela, Executive Secretary, KUPPET Turkana. KUPPET is a body, is a union that is concerned with the teachers' issues. And what has come to our attention is that there is transfer of teachers from Turkana County to Elgeyo Marakwet and Baringo County. We are asking ourselves, why is it Elgeyo Marakwet? Why is it Baringo? That is a question that we want the regional director to address immediately. Is doing a disservice to the learners in Turkana County. Turkana County is a hard-staffed area. Turkana County has the highest shortage of teachers in each and every school in Turkana County. You can have a school with a population of 500 learners, and you have only 6 TSC teachers. And again, you are transferring 3 TSC teachers from one station. That is a disservice. That is and we are not going to accept that as KUPPET. We are appealing to the Commission that they need to investigate this regional director, that whatever is happening in his office, there must be something that is happening in that office that is very hidden. Because teachers are the ones who are coming with the letters all the way from the regional office to this county. And what we know is that he is planning to vie for a gubernatorial seat, Elgeyo Marakwet. So you cannot use Turkana County to benefit yourself or to politicize for your own good. We refuse that, and we are telling the Commission they have to investigate him immediately. And we request that be transferred to another region. We don't need him in Turkana. We don't need him in this region. We are not happy with whatever he's doing. We are not happy as a union. You cannot transfer a teacher without his or her consent. And we have a case of LODWAR High School. A teacher has been transferred. And he has already written an appeal letter. And the report that is in my desk right now is that he's being threatened. That's why why have you declined? Is that leadership? Is it dictatorship? We are very much disappointed. Schools in Turkana have a lot of crises, have problems. Right now we are in economic hardship. When you transfer these teachers, who will teach the learners? Where will the school get money to employ the BOM teachers? Where? When even the government is struggling to release the capitation. This is uncalled for, and we request that that regional officer and the officers in his office, the likes of Joseph Kiptizwa, is the one who is signing the Baringo letters. They should be investigated and they should be transferred with immediate effect. Thank you.
Yeah, members of the press, Kesha, KUPPET, today I'm delighted as the chairman of KUPPET Turkana County to be here to address very pertinent issues as a key stakeholder of education in this country. I'm Athibo Gnariamo Simon. I'm the chairman of KUPPET. And this is our plea as a union, because the principals, the deputy principals, and the rest of the teachers are our members. And it is creating a lot of agony when we realize that education is a lot of impediments in education delivery in this county because of specific individuals. We are calling upon the government, we are calling upon the CEO, Nancy Macharia, to look into this matter vividly, because we want the right things to be done to the students and to the learners of this county. It's therefore in that manner that we want all of us, we want to, as stakeholders, we work together. We work in harmony, we work with the teachers that the commission has assigned to work in this county. And if there is any transferred, then due diligence must be applied. That is the only point. Because when you have scenarios where the regional office handy to create personal interests, then it raises eyebrows and it raises alarm. That's also to be tolerant, because we believe the headquarters will resolve this matter in earnest. I thank you.
Yeah, I also want to add my voice on the same. I want to say that the counties where transferred could be suffering, but we are also suffering. So I do not understand why. Maybe let us call them hustlers. We are also hustlers. So I do not see the reason why one hustler should break the legs of another hustler. We thought that if they have problems, then Turkana County cannot be the cause of their problem, because we have the same problems. So what we are only requesting is that whether we have already released those teachers, and therefore we are requesting the government through the Teacher Service Commission, as my colleagues have said, to immediately give us the share of the teachers that have been transferred, because it is something that is unimaginable to have 40 teachers transferred at a go from a county that is already suffering from understaffing problem. That is what we request, because we have released them, because that is provided for. But the problem is that due process was not followed, and therefore we are saying that there is more that missed the eye in what happened for these transfers. Secondly, we also want to talk about the bursary issue, because that is another area where Turkana County is hard hit. That Turkana County, being the poorest in Kenya, it depends on this bursary for the learners to be at school. What is currently happening is that principals are suffering because the suppliers are disturbing, but not disturbing because they are demanding what is rightfully theirs, but we do not have the answer to what they want. There is a financial crisis in schools, and we thought the county bursary would help us and help our kids, because Turkana County has been allocating about 530, and that is what has been running schools in our county. So for the government to wake up one day and say is a punishment to our kids, we thought the government could have come up with alternatives of ensuring that these kids got this bursary that they require so that they can be able to attend school. At the moment, principals have tried all they can, but in the next 2 weeks, we do not know whether we are going to be able to contain these learners in our learning institutions. Maybe all of them will be back home, not because it is our wish, but because we are able to provide for their boarding requirements. We are willing to teach, but these kids need to eat. It is only the bursary that was going to solve that. Now, without this bursary, we are seeing danger ahead. either to provide an alternative means or let the counties assist out the issue. Thank you.
So I would like to appeal to the Katiba initiative on this matter of county bursaries as a way of supporting education. We are in one country called Kenya. With due respect, I know you are also protecting law. We are good citizens who abide by the law. But one thing here is we are at a level where we need to be considerate. Not all counties may have alternatives to the provision of education, especially in terms of raising school fees. We are struggling to retain students in school, and we want to thank devolution. We want to thank counties for actually coming in during the last 12 years in helping to retain bursaries. We've noted that there has been a high increase in enrollment across secondary schools within our county here. Turkana has remained marginalized since we may not be able to contain these kids any further. In fact, that's up to where we are now. We were on Tuesday gathered again somewhere. We made an appeal to His Excellency, the Governor of Turkana County, Katiba initiative, because there had been a resolution that had been made that had actually been brokered by His Excellency, the Deputy President, to allow, that is between the Council of Governors and the control of. We are appealing. As much as we may be going astray in regards to observing the law, but at least let us also understand that in a proper way, it is used in a better way to sustain and to help this growing population. If we can be able to take this into consideration, be aware that we are not doing any farming in Turkana. Our sole farming is education. We are not practicing, we do not have industries here where our people can get jobs. We reliably rely on education. And for this reason, kindly, I'm very sure after half-term, there will be a crisis because most of our schools may not be able to resume. Because up to where we've reached, it is just courtesy of few suppliers who are considerate. And we are giving them some false hope that sooner or later, maybe there will be an intervention in this matter, and therefore money can be released to schools. But I'm very sure they are also growing impatient. For that reason, we really would want to appeal that we love to see every Kenyan survive. We've seen how economy in our country has actually created jitters all over. So I'm imagining of our Turkana people here who do not have anywhere to go. We are struggling to bring equality through education. But for now, we are seeing that being threatened, and we are seeing there will be a high dropout rate. This will also mean most of our people will turn into very, very, very awkward ways of actually survival, including raids. This had actually gone down. But for now, what is going to happen? The lake is overflowing. We do not have fish. We are unable to do that. So the only thing that we are fishing in Turkana is education. Kindly, we are appealing. As you make your considerations straight that you want to observe the requirements of the Constitution, be aware that there is nothing that will last without getting a remedy. There is a remedy in all this. The money is still, the government is still a government, whether county or national. Who finances the county government? It's the national government. So when the national government decides that they have to take that particular function, that should have been done a little bit earlier, probably even in October. That was when we closed schools. You wouldn't have waited until when schools have already resumed, students have made applications of bursaries. Is when now you come with a court injection that we've not been able to observe law. We've not been able to observe the Constitution, that a certain function has not been devolved to the counties. So what happens next? After these kids go to through ECD, what happens here? What will happen next? Not all families have people who are well off. So we want to appeal to the government. We also want to appeal to His Excellency the President that kindly pour your wisdom to this matter so that we can resolve it. Probably you are one word that you'll be able to mention may be able to resolve this matter once and for all. Thank you.
I think finally I just want to say that all we are asking for is justice for the Turkana kid. And we want the Katiba Initiative to remember what St. Augustine said, that unjust law is no law at all. It's either justice or there is no justice. Thank you.
So, Katibu, ningependa tu kwa Kiswahili.
Yeah.
Kwa yale mambo tumezungumzia hapa. Unajua tumeongea Kizungu na Kizungu ni kwa wale wachache maybe wanaelewa. Ningependa tu kwa kifupi tu utupeleke moja kwa moja kwa baadhi umeweza ku highlight katika statement ya umetoa sasa hivi. Na pia na baadhi hizo changamoto kama unaweza tu kuzungumzia in brief.
Sawa.
Nashukuru sana.
Asante. Ningetaka kusema kwamba sisi kama walimu wakuu na pia shirika la KUPPET hapa Turkana tumetamaushwa na mambo ambayo yamefanyika hasa tangu tufungue mashule. Tumeona kwamba kuna mabarua za walimu ambao wanapata uhamisho. Barua hizi zimeandikwa huku kutoka kwa region yetu kuu iko Nakuru. Na tunaona kwamba kile ambacho kinatushangaza ni kwamba wale ambao wamepata uhamisho wana moja kwa moja hadi kaunti ya Elgeyo Marakwet na Baringo. Na tunapotazama kwa karibu tunaona kwamba yule ambaye ni kiongozi wetu wa region, tunaona kwamba anapendelea sana eneo lake. Hatujui ni kwa sababu gani, lakini tunajaribu kwa mwajiri wetu, kwa sababu kwa kawaida hakuna jambo ambalo linafanyika bila mwelekeo fulani. Lakini tunaona hii yetu haina mwelekeo, kwa sababu mkubwa wetu amesahau kwamba kuna sheria ambazo zinatakana kuzingatiwa kabla uhamisho wa walimu haijafanywa. Tunaona kwamba hii inanyima mtoto Mturkana ambaye anasoma shule zetu haki ya kupata mwalimu aweze kumwelekeza kwa masomo. Kwa hivyo tumeona kwamba kwa kawaida mwalimu anapo kulingana, kwa sababu kuna mabadiliko ambayo imefanyika. Kwanza wakati ambapo mwalimu anataka kupata uhamisho, kuna portal ambayo mwalimu mwenyewe ataenda initiate kwamba anataka kupewa uhamisho, labda aende kwao. Lakini hiyo pia inatokana na kama mwalimu ameweza kukaa ama kufanya kazi kwa kituo fulani zaidi ya ama kwa miaka 5. Lakini hata hivyo pale haitatosha. Atasema sababu ambazo zinamfanya atake kwenda ama kupata uhamisho. Ya pili, mwalimu mkuu ataweza kuidhinisha kwa kukubalia mwalimu aende mahali ambapo anatazamia kwenda, ama akatae kwa sababu mwalimu atatoa sababu gani ambayo sisi tunaandika kwamba sawa umpatie uhamisho, lakini lete badili yake ama leta replacement yake. Lakini sasa tunaona baada ya hapo ndio sasa utapata county director pia kuna kili kwamba huyu mwalimu aende ama azanyimwe kwenda transfer. Ata acknowledge tu poza sasa hatua itachukuliwa. Lakini tangu tuwe kwa kazi tumeona kwamba wakati transfer ya mwalimu inapatikana inakuja na replacement. Unaambiwa kwamba ajiri huyu mwalimu wa biolojia na kemia. Huyu mwalimu ambaye utamwajiri ata replace mwalimu fulani ambaye anaondoka uhamishoni. Lakini sasa tumeona kwamba yule ambaye ni mkurugenzi wa region yetu pale Rift Valley hajazingatia haya yote. Na hatuelewi ni kwa nini anafanya hivyo. Na pia tunaona kwamba lazima kuna kitu tunaita corruption pia iko ndani pale. Kwa sababu ukiangalia wale ambao wanafanya kazi pale ndio wameandika hizi kuna mabarua zinakuja tofauti. Kuna wale ambao wanaenda Baringo imesainiwa na mtu anaitwa Joseph Kiptizia. utapata wale ambao wameenda Elgeyo Marakwet imesainiwa na mtu tofauti, si hata regional director. Kwa hivyo hii ndio tunaweza sasa kuambia watu wetu kwamba kuna mambo ambayo yanafanyika ambayo italeta changamoto kwa mashule. Na tunasema ni changamoto kwa sababu kila shule imepewa CBE. Yaani kipimo cha walimu kulingana na kiasi cha shule. Kwa hivyo utapata sasa sisi hata hatujafikisha hiyo CBE kulingana imeweka. Kwa hivyo utapata kama shule yangu iko na walimu 14 lakini kulingana na 7 kulingana na idadi ya shule. Na tutapata kwamba kati ya hawa 14 bila wengine kuletwa kufili hiyo gap. Kwa hivyo tunaona kwamba pale tunanyima shule zetu nafasi muhimu ya kuweza sasa hatuna pesa ya kununua chakula kwa wanafunzi, hatuna pesa ya kulipa bili ya maji, hatuna pesa ya kulipa bili ya stima kwa sababu sasa basari ambayo tunategemea ndio hii pia imewekwa tena kuna. Kwa hivyo tunaona pale sasa tuko na changamoto kubwa sana. Si school fees, si mambo tena ya walimu, sasa tutakuwa akili zetu mahali hapa kwa sababu ile kitu tunaita treasure, hazina ambayo tunaweza patia mtoto wetu hapa Turkana ni elimu. Lakini kama tulikuwa tumeshapiga hatua kwa kusonga mbele. Tumezungumzia pia mambo ya basari ambayo labda nitamruhusu mwenyekiti aweze kuelezea. So tumesema kwamba na 12 hadi mwaka jana tumeona kwamba wanaojiunga na shule za upili. Hii imekuwa desturi mpya ukizingatia walikuwa hawangeweza kujiunga na shule za sekondari. Hii inatokana na msaada ambao tulipata kutoka kwa county. County yetu iliweza kupitisha kwamba lazima tuweze kusaidia social protection, tuweze kusaidia wanafunzi wetu waweze kupata karo, hasa wale ambao wanatoka kwa familia ambazo asijiwezi. Lakini tumeona kwamba kumekuwa na kutokana na hali ya utata ya sheria kwamba ambaye anasimamia bajeti pale kwa serikali kuu ameona kwamba haya yote ambayo yamekuwa yakifanyika kwa mambo ya masomo katika shule ya upili haijaletwa kwa county, bado iko chini ya serikali kuu. Lakini tunasema ukiangalia county zote 47, ukiangalia percentage ya poverty, Turkana County inaongoza. Na ukitaka kujua poverty index, it is always on the basis of nani amesoma pale. Kwa hivyo inamaanisha pia kwamba wale ambao wamesoma Turkana ni wachache sana. Na tuliona kwamba hii ilikuwa ni kama bahati kwetu wakati ambapo viongozi wetu waliamua kupitisha lazima tusaidie wanafunzi ambao wanatoka kwa familia maskini nafasi ya kujiunga na shule za sekondari na pia vyuo vikuu. Na tumeona jinsi ongezeko la idadi na tunaona kwamba pia imepunguza mambo ya watoto kukaa nje ya shule. Lakini sasa jinsi ambavyo mambo iko vile tunaona hii vita kuna wale ambao wataumia ambao ni watoto. Kwa hivyo sisi tuchunge sheria lakini pia tusahau kwamba pia tunaangamiza maisha ambaye amekuwa akitegemea hiyo basari. Kwa hivyo tunasema kwamba kuonea mtoto Mturkana huruma, ituruhusu waweze kupata basari ili masomo yao isikatishwe. Lakini sasa tutatoa pesa kulipa wapi? Kwa sababu tegemeo letu limekuwa ni hii basari ya county ambayo tumekuwa tukibenefit na zaidi ya inafanywa. Kwa hivyo tuna appeal kwa katiba initiative wale ambao wamepeleka kesi kotini kupinga ile na control of budget kwamba tafadhali muweze kuhurumia mtoto Mturkana ambaye
tegemea walimu ambao wamekuwa transferred na within which schools are imekuwa affected. Na alafu pia kuna baadhi ya maswali kuulizwa na wa followers online.
Na siku ya leo Sisi kama KUPPET pamoja na jambo la kuhamisha walimu ovyo ovyo, tutatumia neno ovyo ovyo kwa sababu walimu wamehamisha, ni jambo ambalo tukiangalia vizuri ni kama kwamba yule ambaye regional director wa TSC ambaye makao yake ni kule Nakuru, kulingana na yeye hajapitia changamoto nyingi katika kaunti hii. Yeye anafanya mchezo kwa kuangalia kaunti zake. Nitasema hivyo kwa sababu kaunti ya Baringo vile vile ni yake, na yeye mwenyewe anafikiria na anajaribu kuweka siasa kwa masomo ya watoto. Yule ambaye anaadhirika elimu, si kwamba sisi tunasema mwalimu kuhamishwa ni jambo nzuri, lakini wahamishwe kwa kufuata utaratibu ambao umewekwa pale. Hii ni shule zote, Ukiangalia vizuri katika data yetu, watatu wamehamishwa. Shule ya wavulana ya Loima, walimu watatu wamehamishwa. Shule ya Kalokol, Moi High, walimu 4. Shule ya Lapuru huko ndani, walimu 5. Sijui sasa ni nani atabaki kufundisha watoto. Na shule ni nyingi katika sub counties zote katika kaunti hii zimeathirika, walimu wote wamehamishwa. Ni jambo la kusikitisha sana, ni jambo la kukasirisha, si jambo la kufurahia. Na ndio sisi tunasema kama KUPPET kwamba huyu regional director ambaye pamoja na wafanyakazi wake pale katika ofisi yake, sisi tunajua kwamba ni ufisadi inaendelea katika ofisi hiyo. Hii ni ufisadi ambayo tungependa EACC ichunguze. Watu wa NIS pia wafanye uchunguzi wa tujue ni nini inaendelea katika ofisi hii.
So what period of ultimatum are you giving to the concerned to act?
Sisi tunasema kwamba huyo director kufikia siku ya Jumatatu hatua kali iwe imechukuliwa. Na wale walimu ambao wamehamishwa katika kaunti hii, tunaomba kwamba turudishiwe walimu wetu, tupewe walimu wengine na hizo nafasi zijazwe mara moja. Na TSC mara mingi ikihamisha mwalimu inakuanga imeweka mikakati ya kuleta mwalimu mwingine. Lakini hii nyingine ambayo inafanywa tu na watu hapa katikati, hii ni wizi na hii ni ufisadi mkubwa sana katika nchi hii ya Kenya. Na hatuwezi kubali kama viongozi. Na mimi naomba viongozi wa Turkana kuanzia kwa gavana wetu, wabunge wetu, jambo hili lichunguzwe. Jambo hili liangaliwe kwa undani. Tunaumia, watoto wetu wataumia, watakimbilia wapi? Nani atawafundisha? Hatuna watu wa kufundisha. Ndio maana tunasema kwamba wale walimu mara moja replacement yao ifanywe mara moja. Asante.
Haya, kuna maswali hapa. Sijui tutaanza na Kesha. Kuna swali hapa wameuliza kwamba is there an agreement period of time and one should work before they are been complained that on non-locals get these jobs only to seek transfer immediately back to their counties. What are the KUPPET and Kesha Turkana branch doing to curb this problem?
Correct. Very good question.
Yeah, I have actually stated that teachers have a minimum period of 5 years to stay in one particular station before seeking for transfer. Normally, when we are filling the employment form, a teacher is expected to write a commitment letter that is going to stay in that particular station for 5 years. But we have a very unique case. I don't know which school. There's one school here, I think Kankit Girls. That teacher who has been transferred has not completed the minimum 5-year stay in that particular school. So I think that one is a big anomaly, and we are appealing to the Commission. I'm told the replacement for Kangtit teacher has already been. That is after we've just made that this noise. Already a replacement is on the way for the.
Okay, there's this other question. Very true concerns you are raising. The principals, and kudos to the executive. Could you also ask the question if there are concerns by big number of teachers jobs, do they also see this as a concern?
Of course, we are appealing to our people. You know, the teaching profession is always associated with poverty. Probably many of our colleagues could be running away for greener pastures. But I think terms but for that one could be at individual level. But as at now, we are always appealing to our colleagues that we be available to provide the necessary service to our students.
Maybe in addition to what our secretary has stated, we also appealing to our young people to actually take teaching. It is a noble profession. When people are taking their own, then remember that we are actually threatened as a people. Let us take these courses. Let us come back and help our own, so that we actually reduce these mass transfers, because our own will understand the climatic conditions here. This is where we were born, and therefore there shall be no excuse of heat, wind, and many other lame excuses that were given. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Unless there is any conclusions that
About the whole thing there?
Yeah, about the whole, no, capitation, you mentioned about the issue of capitation. Our schools currently like surviving. Yeah, if you can address that one.
Appeal to our suppliers also to maybe understand time. It is not their wish that they delay their payments, but because of lack of funds, especially the bursaries that we've been dependent on. Remember, we are not just talking about the county bursary, we are talking also about the CDF, that is the national government CDF bursary. We have not received it. We have not even received, even the disbursement from the government was something like 25% instead of the 50% that was expected. And even the Limu scholars, the government has not paid for them. So basically the schools are just struggling to survive. Just appealing to our suppliers to kindly understand our colleagues at this time. And and also we want to appeal to the parents that even when you get 1,000, 2,000, kindly it will be of great importance to us, because now you can see the direction we are taking. Yes, and I'm reminded that hata kama uko na mbuzi, you can pay in kind, let a mbuzi, because we buy meat for these learners. So if you have firewood, if you have charcoal, to appeal to the county government to now teaching as one of the rare courses. Yeah. Should there be any support, let us remember that people going for teaching deserve some support. This is now what, it's now coming true. We are now seeing it very clearly that people just come and they, in one day 40 are out and so on. So we really need to ensure that we also have some of our own. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much to our viewers, all our listeners from. We were coming live from Ateker Hotel here from LODWAR municipality. What you have just heard from the executive of teachers is a very grave concern that we as the Turkana people must take it seriously and for next action. We've been following your comments through on WhatsApp and YouTube, and of course some of them have been answered by the executive, and some, of course, will be having them coming to our studios in the near future light on those issues. We've had issues to do with capitations, some of the institutions or schools struggling to actually maintain the welfare of their learners. And number two also is the issue to do with transfers, which of course you've heard from the statement that there are transfers that are very unprocedural, and they are seeking the authorities concerned to step in and to also bring to an end to this matter. Number three is also the issue to do with bursaries. You understand this has been a very huge conversation across the country. You heard that the control of budget, actually through a court order stopped the issues of bursaries in the counties, and so this matter, I understand, is being addressed as we speak. Otherwise, it has been a very good conversation, live transmission from IOC TV, and we are glad to have you on board. In case you have any other concerns that you may have wanted to raise, and we are closing now the session, please remember we also always have our website, which is www.ioktv.co.com. Our online number is 0712 450 450. You can always drop your concerns. You can always drop your comments here, also for us to take them, or to address them in our next and subsequent shows. I have been your, reporter Emmanuel Ekwom. Thank you, and may you enjoy the rest of the day. Asanteni sana.